So everyone always wants to know why so many Canadians are so good at domaining. Well, part of the reason is because when it comes to many industries, we're ahead of most countries with changes and things that take place in many industries. And I'm going to give you some examples of domains you should be looking to purchase and industries and services you should keep an eye on over the next year or two. So a lot of the stuff that's gone on in Canada lately is that, well, dental hygienists have now taken away a lot of the business from dentists. So dentists are being forced to do things like sleep apnea and sleep disorders and take a look at that kind of stuff because now dental hygienists can do fillings, they can do teeth whitening, and they can do cleanings. And if you go to a dental hygienist, you'll find it's a lot cheaper than if you go to a dentist. You'll usually save about 30 to 40%. So that's one industry that's changing. The other industry that's changing is now doctors don't have a lot of, they still have the same powers they do, but RNs are taking over for a lot of the functionality that doctors were able to do. And the only difference now in Canada between an RN and a doctor is that a doctor can write prescriptions. But then the chain moves down the ladder, and a lot of hospitals are replacing nurses and RNs with nurse practitioners because nurse practitioners are cheaper than RNs and nurses, and a lot of times you don't need an RN. So, for example, my son just had a hernia operation, and he was at the Shouldice Clinic, and all they had there was nurse practitioners and maybe one RN. So nurse practitioners are going to become more and more popular as time goes on because companies and hospitals and private hospitals can save money by using them. Another industry that's changing rapidly in front of our eyes is the lawyers are now being hired by paralegals. So paralegals can now do almost everything a lawyer can except go to court and argue in court over a case. But they can do all the clerical work and they can do all the paperwork and they can notarize things and they can do all kinds of different things with their new training and new things that they're being added. So you can see the food chain is moving down so that a lot of the what we would consider lower end jobs are not lower end jobs anymore, and those people are quite busy. So I have one woman who's hired 6 paralegals and 1 lawyer, and she's a paralegal, and the lawyer actually works for the paralegal, and all he does is sign off on things when it gets to that point, but the paralegals do all the work. So in a lot of industries you're going to see a lot of changes like that, and things are going to continue to move forward. So pay attention to domain names that have lawyers, not so much, paralegals, definitely, nurse practitioners, definitely, and I think you're getting dental hygienists as well. So those are some good local domains to start grabbing up because what usually happens in Canada about a year to a year and a half later starts to happen in the United States. So you want to be ahead of the game so that you have the domains by the time they come looking for them. The person that I'm going to suggest that you get to know or add on Facebook this week is Zach Muscovich. He is a domain attorney. He's very good. I've used him on several occasions. He's never lost for me. I consider him to be a good friend and a better attorney. And you can look him up. His company is dnattorney.com. And his email address is zach@dnattorney.com. And if you ever need a good intellectual property lawyer who knows the ins and outs, he is of the new age and he knows this stuff very well. So that covers most of the things in today's videos. And like I said, work on paralegals, nurse practitioners, and go after some of those domain names, and you'll be happy a year or two later. Before I sign off, I'm going to tell you about one more industry where there's been a lot of changes, where now, I know in the United States already and in Canada, pharmacists can now give flu shots. So a lot of people are going to their local pharmacy and not having to wait in a doctor's clinic to get flu shots. Well, more and more things are going to happen like that in different industries, and they're going to continue to happen. But it's good for everybody because these people are skilled. They can do the jobs of the people above them. But now you're going to find a lot of dentists and a lot of lawyers looking for work because there's not going to be enough with the paralegals and the RNs and the nurse practitioners picking it all up. Anyway, thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.